Hello, good afternoon. My name is Osatoame Patrick Agbogo. I officially welcome you again to Cloud Training for Enthusiast, AWS. Here, your dream to cloud fairyland comes true. So I'm your pilot again, Osatoame Patrick Agbogo. And in our last class, we talked about virtual machines. We mentioned the two types of virtual machines, virtual machine 1 with hypervisor 1 and hypervisor 2. And we went ahead to launch a virtual machine with AWS at the same time, install Apache, and we're able to run a web app from S3 Bucket. And today we are still going to continue the virtual machines. And this time we are going to focus on taking a virtual machine and from a virtual machine logging into another virtual machine. That act is called Bastion host, and where one virtual machine will be in public IP, a public subnet, while the other one will be in private subnet. So today is just the same thing. Virtual machines, the same virtual machines. Please, if you want to know a little about virtual machine, go back to our previous class, and I explained a lot about it. But for the sake of continuity, virtual machine is a mirror of a machine. Like, for example, you have a complete system. You can create a machine inside it that can still perform the same capacity of your machines. For example, we have Windows now. I have a laptop here with 16 gig, 8 gig RAM, 500 gig hard drive. So I can create another machine inside, and that machine will work independently. But however, it will share the resources of this laptop. So that machine I created inside this machine is a virtual part, it's a virtual one, because it's not a physical, it's not a tangible machine. So, and that's what we explained last time. So we also talked about hypervisor 1, which is mostly on top of a bare metal. Bare metal is a machine that does not have operating system, that is empty. You understand? It's like you're loading operating system. Instead of you to load operating system first, you load a virtual an hypervisor. But why for hypervisor 2 is for already functioning system that has an operating system. You just install it on top, and we'll talk about other type of virtual machine, other type of hypervisor, which you use VMbox, Oracle VMbox as our instance. So today we're going to go into Bastion host. What's a Bastion host? A Bastion host, as I mentioned, is a collection of so many virtual machines where you make one the master, and from that you can connect and host other virtual machines. You understand? So you need this skill, especially if you are going to automation, because by the time you have like 500 virtual machines that you have deployed, or let's say 200 or 30, going into individual system, SSH into individual system, you have to do some update. It will be so hard and cumbersome for you. So we have some automation tool like the Terraform. We also have the Ansible. You can install it in the major virtual machines. Then from there, you can automate, you can update, you can install, you can do everything on the other machines. So and it's better you even have a Bastion host, because it's secure. Since your resources is more secure in cloud, you can just take one of your major system, and from there you can host other virtual machines and run your playbook for Ansible, and run your module for Terraform. So both of them are very important. We're going to talk about that when we are really focusing on DevOps. For now, let's go on our home. So this is we are going to, so this is what we are going to do. So let's start our presentation right away. Okay. These are the things that you need to have a Bastion host. Like we have the internet. You must have an internet gateway. We need a NAT gateway. We need a private subnet and a public subnet. What makes a private subnet is the gateway attached to it. So if it's designed to receive information from the public, then you can call it a public subnet. However, if it's designed not to be accessed by the public, then it becomes a private subnet. One of the gateway that allow a system to be accessed from the internet, from the public, is actually an internet gateway, which we are going to show example here. Then in that gateway only allow egress. What I mean by egress means it can only go out to the internet, and the virtual machines can go out to the internet, can route to the internet and collect updates. But from the internet, from HTTP or HTTPS, you cannot route in. You understand me? So the route table is designed that you can route to the internet for update, but you cannot route in. So, and the way we can enable that is if the Bastion is in public, it has the internet facility, so it's going to be routing through the Bastion host, which I'm going to show here. Then I want to make use of EC2 instance. I'm going to make use of AWS EC2 Linux, not Ubuntu. So you can use Red Hat, you can use Ubuntu, you can use any other operating system. So let's go. These are the steps we're going to do. We want to create a VPC with a public and a private subnet. We want to create and configure a Bastion host security using security group, so that we can define how we can enter the Bastion host and control control it by configuring some firewalls. A security group is like a firewalls that surrounds your system. That help define how you can access the system. So I'm going to use for the private subnet, we use port 22, since it's going to be only SSH. Then while for the public, we're going to allow port 22. We're also going to allow port 80 and port 443. Well, because we are not going to be using HTTPS encrypted certification, so we're going to just channel our mind on HTTP. However, in a production environment, you don't use HTTP, we use HTTPS, because we need our system to be well designed and well secured and with encryption. HTTPS traffic is encrypted when you are sending and when you are receiving. So then we're going to create the Bastion host. So this is the architectural design. As you can see, we have the internet gateway. You can see we have the internet gateway. We have the NAT gateway here. We have the NAT gateway. Then we have a public subnet. Inside the public subnet, that's where we install our servers. So we make use of this IP address. We may also configure our own, but the IP address is just like a sample. How you can, if you are doing a trial, you can take all this IP address and also try it will work. But however, in case you see a different IP address, don't be confused. It's the same thing. As far the main VPC is having /SADA block of 10/16 with then the other one having 10/24. So let's go there. This is the block diagram. You can see the Bastion host, it has the public subnet inside the public subnet, while the Linux instance have a security group of a private subnet. Then both of them have different security group. And the Bastion host user, which in this case are the developers, a DevOps team, and even the infrastructure as a service engineer. Okay, well, this is what we use Bastion host for web service. For example, if you want to launch an application that requires taking data, which most web service do, like you have most times when you go to a site, you see they will ask for your number, your phone number, your details. You create a form. So those forms, when you click enter, it's actually connected to a database to collect those data that you have put. And those database is very, very important, because those informations you collected must be kept safe and secure. And the best way to do that is to put a database in your private subnet, so that the internet cannot easily access it. And that is it. There are other ways you can also, so if you have some sensitive information, some sensitive applications, you can also put it inside the the private subnet. While the public subnet, you just attach like what we did last time. Just like that, we need a security. It's used for resource security. You can also use it to secure. You can also use it for automation. Like I mentioned, you can put a Bastion host. Like when we are going to be talking about Ansible and Terraform, we want to make use of one server. From that server, we can launch 20 instances and configure it, and automate it, and so that the system can keep going and keep working. I want to talk about that. So let's go straight to our action now. So we are going to straight. Let's go to the AWS console and take what we need to do. Like we have the AWS here. Okay. Okay, we have to log in, regular login procedure. And I'm always log in as I always like to log in as a user, which is the best practice. Log in as a user, not as a root user, but as an IAM user, so that you can be secure. And I always encourage every cloud user to have a multi-factor authentication so that you can be secured. It's also the best practice too. And somebody cannot just access your system and end up playing with it. So now I've entered my, so let's go straight. First of all, the first point of call, according to our plan, you can see we mentioned that you are going to first of all have a positive step. We need to create our VPC with public and private subnet. And to do this is very easy. You just go to network, 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 you see, then you can see VPC there. So one of the things I love about AWS infrastructure environment, infrastructure as a service environment, is that it's easy. You can even make use of a wizard, and a wizard can look at this wizard. It's asking you which are you going to do. For example, you see, it said create a single VPC with public subnet. You always do this when you just want to quickly launch, but although it's not only the best practice anyway, because most companies, most production environment has already this assigned IP address. You must follow the process, you must follow the standards. You understand me? Either 192 or 172. So you must follow the standard. That 198 or 172. You must follow the standard of creating an IP VPC. But for now, we are just taking this because we are just doing trial. So we are going to look at the infrastructure is going to give to you. So it's going to have internet S3. You get me? You're going to have a public and a private subnet, and the NAND get connected to it. All these things is going to happen automatically. So what we're going to do we'll do this, then we'll also try and do another one that we have to do from the scratch, so that in a real life environment, you will not be stranded. So let's call this VPC cloud Air2. Then see, you already have the IPv, the subnet CIDR block is 10.00. I can decide to change it. I can decide to customize it the way I want. Then we have 1, 2, 2. This is another one. This is the public subnet. This one is a public subnet. So availability zone, I can decide to put availability zone as 1. The availability zone for this, I can decide to make this here. So then it's a private subnet. Let's call this public subnet cloud Air2. Cloud Air2. And choose then this private cloud and tools. Then the NAT gateway. I already have elastic IP, but in case you didn't see any elastic IP here, don't worry. All you just need to do is to come here and go to network. And if you click network, click VPC. So I want to create a new tab so that we can continue our next class. Then you see the can allocate an elastic IP here. When I finish loading, you can locate elastic IP to that particular elastic IP is global, meaning you can use any elastic IP anywhere. You understand? It's not a region based. So like this. Okay, then it's loading, it's taking time. Network issue. So now I'll see show it how you can create an elastic IP. I don't know why it's taking unnecessary time. Okay, even as we wait for it to boot. So sorry for the little break. Let's continue our class. So as I mentioned, if you want to get elastic IP, go to that VPC. Go straight to elastic, allocate the elastic IP address. You need it. You create one. You create one, then the one is already allocated. You can create another. You can allocate another. You can create another. Say allocate. So when you do this, it will follow the non-regular process, and you create another one. But we're not creating one, and we already have one. So that's how to create an elastic IP. So we come here, then you say create VPC. So the VPC we create. So with this, we've done one. We've done the creation of the VPC. We have done creation of the VPC. Now let's create and configure the Bastion host security group. So the Bastion host security group, meaning we'll create servers. Let's create our EC2. The reason why I'm showing the screen so that in case you want to practice your personally with that procedure, you can practice and it will not give you any issue. You know the step by step. You can take a screenshot at it and go, okay, now let's go to, we're not creating VPC again. Let's create our EC2 instance. It's going to take a little time. Depends on the network because it's going to take a little time because it's not just going to create VPC is going to create subnet, going to create a route table. You want to route everything. It's going to design everything for you. Create a route table, create a NAT gate, create an internet gateway, attach it to a route table. So those are the things it's going to do for you. So what we'll do now, I'm going to assume that it's already up. So it's going to take a little time, but let's launch our instance concurrently. So we're going to use Amazon free tier. Then you can using the free tier configure. Then how many instance? Let's use one. Let's do individual instances. Let's make this as our Bastion host. And it's going to be in that which one which created now. Please ensure that when you are creating, ensure that you know the exact IP address that you just created. You understand? So that you will not end up using different IP address. I think which one? I think this is the one we just created now. No. Let me see when this one is created. The Bastion host. This on the Bastion host. Okay, let's check this. So I want to be sure that is the one we are using. Okay. So this one, Bastion host. So let's continue. Then we already create this VPC. Then the next thing we'll do, we'll use that one, this one. Then it's already having public and private subnets. Now let's make this one cloud air2. So let me take the public of it, which is this. Then the subnet we are using, let's enable, this is a public IP, let's enable public assign, let's enable DNS. Elastic, enable this short and behavior. Normally, let's just protect against, not protect. Normally, in preparation environment, you're supposed to click protect. Elastic tenancy. Come here. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Our storage. No, it's okay. If we are just starting, then target so I can differentiate it. Name and let's say Bastion host. Okay, now let's go. This part, you should be careful with this part. This is a Bastion host. The internet is going to let's add let's allow you to talk to port 80 and possibly ports 43 443. And let's review. It's okay. The ABS elastic block storage is okay. And let's make use of our existing Monday key pair. If you don't have key pair, you create one, which you are going to use. Now, okay, now we've launched this. We launched one server in public IP. So this become your public subnet, your public server, which is going to be our Bastion host. It has been created. Bastion host. Look at the parameters. So let's create our private. Okay, you see it has been created. Public DNS, public. No, we didn't put public IP DNS. So we have elastic IP not attached. So we can decide to attach it. We didn't attach it, there's no problem. As for the subnets that it is as that. So let's create another EC2 instance. This time we're going to put it in our private subnet. So create the same Same configuration, just that the different now is that we're putting this in a public subnet. This is a private subnet. Then it will not have an IP. No, we don't want that. Use this public IP. We will not have a public IP. Assign auto, assign public IP. No, we don't have public IP. Capacity reservation. Okay. Normally, you're supposed to enable protection against accidental termination, but no, we're not using it because I just subnet everything. We're just trying to do trial, your testing, then target. We tag this name, and we'll put private. Let's say EC2 minus EC2 minus. Okay, then configure. Let's configure the security group. Since it's just only SSH, let's just use this SSH. Please don't forget, use the security group. It's a default security group for private. You can see. Meanwhile, as I mentioned, if you want to customize your SSH to only listen to the SSH from your system, the simple thing you do, you just come to, if you are using the Windows, you come to Windows, you click just a CMD, you can see your network parameters there. That it will only be just click, all right, IP config or / or to list all your IP addresses. So you can from here and copy your IP address, private IP address that you can use. So it's only your system that will be able to SSH into it. And so you can see the public, your IP settings. You can start to use one. You can start to use this one, which is 192. This is your IPv4, which is 192/this/that. It means this will be the only system that will be able to SSH into it from your Windows. Linux, you just write ifconfig/a or sudo config, depending. And from there, you can get your SSH and configure it. Then we use the same key pair, then we'll launch. I want to create another one. Then let's create another instance too, another instance. Because I want to tell you the advantage of Bastion host. I want to use one system to log into 3. Let's create another one, which is going to be launched on another instance. This time, let's launch 2. So I was supposed to have just launched 2 once now. Okay, let's launch another one, create another one. Yeah, and then let's pick the configuration settings and the same cloud enthusiast, then put it in private subnet, and let's make this instance 2, or let's make it 3. Then this lab is an extension of the lab we had physically. We had the lab we have in our group, Cloud Training for Enthusiasts. I'm going to send the link here. You can join the live lab. But why I don't always like sharing that live lab, some people share their questions and it's always long because then we take 2 to 3 hours. So I feel it's going to bore people. So it's better we do a summary of it. We'll do a summary of it so that someone can, let's say, EC2 to Nanos. So it's going to be boring because we're not in a class. So I always recommend us to be in live class, because in that live class, you not only enjoy questions, you will also enjoy the experience, that experience that lectures is going on, that's real-time experience of asking written questions. But you can still drop your questions behind these YouTube channels, and I'm going to attend to it. So let's launch. We have launched three instances. Then let's go to our EC2 instance. You can see presently now we have three instances going. Our Bastion host instances, 3 of them. So we have the Bastion host, we have the remaining two Nanos instance. It's supposed to be more than 2. Yes, I see it's more than. So we have how many? We have like 4 with different IP addresses. That's our Bastion host. You can see it has a public IP address, meaning it's in public domain. If you see the subnet, let's go to the subnet. If you click subnet, you're going to see that it's public. The subnet automatically has an internet gateway attached to it. An internet gateway attached to it. We can see the public. Okay, let's release this. And let's just take all these two. This is the 2 internet gateway we are using, the 2 subnet we are using. You can see this one. If you scroll down, you see, let's look at the route table. This is the route table. You can see it has internet gateway attached to it. Then if you check the private subnet, you see that it does not have internet gateway. Look at the route table. You see that it has NAT gateway attached to it. So these are the 2 subnets we are using. Look at the network SCL, tell you allow, and deny, allow, deny. So let's go straight to what we need to do. Now for you to be able to SSH into both your private or public IP. For your public EC2, it's not compulsory you use SSH. You can log in through using the connect through any application that, for example, now you see if I click, we have five instances running. We launch 3 at once. Then one is our home main. So if you click connect, if you click any of the instance you want to use, let's assume this private instance. And then you click connect here, the AWS will tell you how to connect to it. You can connect your instance to the public IP address. If you are using it from the Bastion host, use SSH. And you can see all the procedures, all the user account is not authorized to use ECL console. I can manage the access and allow it. Then you can use EC2 serial console, which most times internet based. So now let's go straight to our putty. For you to make use of this application, you need to log in. You need 3 applications. You need a putty, you need putty, you need a putty, you need a Pagent, and you need your Pagent and putty agent. And this is your putty here. This is before you download. Then this your putty. That's your putty. We have your Pagent. Look for Pagent here. Yeah, putty agent. Putty agent supposed to be here. Okay. It's called Pagent. This is it. Pagent and Pagent. These 3, you can download these 3 because the key we use, when we're creating our instance. For me, I've already gone to my instance type, and I've already designed my system to create an ROSA key instead of using a PEM key. You can come here and create your ROSA key. You see, we have two types of keys. We have two types of format. We have the PEM, we have the putty, we have the PPK. Like this PPK is ROSA, while this PEM is mostly for Nanos SSH. Both of them are secured, both of them are okay. But for me, because I'm using putty for my lectures, I like using here. But if you want to do it through using Nanos, you don't need to use this. But if you have downloaded this PEM key, all you need to do is use your Pagent to convert it to putty. So that's for that. Now let's go into, I already have my putty here. Putty, then I also have my putty agent, Pagent. And first of all, when you have your putty agent, first, before you log in, open your putty agent. This is a sign. Whenever you create this, always here, add your keys. Understand me? I'm using Monday. Then add your keys here. Then you close it. So it's already registered in your system. Then by the time I say EC2 /user at copy the IP address of our, what is the IP address of our, copy the IP address of our instance. These things are very stressful because we are still learning infrastructure as a service. But if we are going to code as a service, it's faster to launch. It becomes so easy. That's code as a service. But let's learn infrastructure as a service because it will help you to know more about general infrastructure and to give you an upper hand. Okay, now let's take this. You can even come here and see the public IP address. You can see. Come here and copy it. The same thing. That does not mean you cannot SSH through private IP. You can still go through. Then go to authentication, put in your key, then allow putty agent forwarding. So that your putty agent can be linked to this putty. So anytime you launch your server, a copy of it will be placed inside your server. Now through there, you can also SSH it to others. The public key will be there. So already here. Okay. Set to forward users using authentication. Reka, you're already in. Take note of this IP address 10.0.0.168 is our Bastion host. Understand me? So I wouldn't want to waste time. Let's just connect to others. This one is a public, it's a private IP, You only have private IP address. So no need to waste time. We are not here to install. We just want to just say SSH, then put the, it will go. Yes. You can see warning. So that's just it. To communicate to the other instance and log in. See, we have logged in into the second instance. Then if you want to log into the third instance from the second instance, but because we have already assigned that putty agent, you will not need to be, you can log into another third instance. This is the third one. You copy, you come here we are logging from the second to the third. So you say SSH, then you can see yes. Don't forget to take notes. Yes, come in, let me open it. You can say this is the first one. The first one was 10.12. Understand me? Okay, we have 10.1. We have 10. 10.1 dot this dot that. The second instance is this. Okay, why didn't it connect? There's a way I would have allowed you to connect if I SSH that directly and I put that key there to work. If I come here and copy that key and also put it here, it will also work. This one does not have any authorized, that's all kind of SSH into. But if I exit this, if I exit the second one and I go to the third one, it's supposed to connect. And I say permission denied because of the public key. I say exit. So if I'm exiting, you see close, you can see what it's trying to tell me that I've exited from port 122. You understand? So let's from this 168 now, let's SSH into the other one, SSH, then this 200, you can see yes, it will go. You see, so from your Bastion host, you can connect to all your instances. See, we have entered the second instance, which is port 200. So you can see from that my Bastion host now, I can use it to update, or for example, I want to update this. I'll just say sudo su, I like, or you'll say sudo su yum update. Okay, sudo yum update. You can see it's updating. So you can say I'm updating other servers. This one's, updating the one after the other, as I mentioned, it takes time, but there's an automated application like when I was talking about the Ansible and the other Puppet or the Terraform. You can use it to update your system without getting to log into one another. Or you just need to do, since we have a Bastion host here, you just copy the IP addresses of all your Linux instance, put it in your playbook and write your playbook and say your playbook should just go straight and update all to update everything, and you will not have any issue. So that is just the Bastion host for you. Let me not waste time as this is taking time to update stuff. So that's just it. So let's go straight to, you can say, okay, let's assume we want to go to the other one. You have to exit this. Yes, log out from this. Yes, I want to log out from this. Exit a mess, and we are still in. There's still in. There's a stop job. I understand. I don't want to just exit. So we have closed that port. We're still back to 168. We can, for example, if let's assume that that first one is a database, we want to go to our database instance. You come here, you just go to the third one. Let's assume this was database. We come down, we copy the public. They are all private subnets. So what you do, you come here, let's clear so that we can have free space. Then you can say SSH space, SSH space, the IP address is here. Yes. So it's one in. So copying everything. So this Bastion host is taking registry of all the instances we are logged into. You can see they are all here. You can see. So as many servers, Linux instances you want to SSH, you can SSH and just do your update. all of them can talk to the internet. For example, let's ping google.com. You can see. Let me see if we have the right without using the soon. Longer time. So ping. My service no name. Okay, so you can just try and connect. Try and 20 you want to do automatically. This system can connect to the internet. That's what I'm just trying to illustrate here. Okay, let's assume let's take so that so sorry just so it's as easy as that. You can just keep SSH into anything you want to SSH and just comment. So like that, just sudo. Let's log in as sudo. Let's log in as admin. You can log in as root user. You see, let's say your update. Yes. Let's see if you can connect to the internet. See, it's loading. Update method. So it takes a little time because of the latency. So like that, that's how you use your Bastion host to connect. We are going to come back to this Bastion host. I just want to introduce us to it because there are more things about Bastion host that we need to know, we need to understand. But for now, I wouldn't want to bore you more. Let's just not waste time. Let's not waste time. Let's just continue. ls. Let's see what we have here. We're going to have both SSH key and everything. See the SSH key. We can log into the SSH key and say cd dot SSH dot SSH. So if you say ls here, you have authorized key. If you say cat authorized key, you see everything inside the authorized key. You see that the SSH that we use in logging in from the first one is still here. It's in the public IP. So this is what you do. You can just log into all SSH key. I want to try something. This is off the class. You know, one thing about me, I like experimenting. I want to try something. I want to see, since that key is already authorized and this can also authorize it, let's see if we can use this to SSH into this and see. Let's see what will happen. Let's say yes. Okay, let's see what will happen. We need to log in. Now, what I'm trying to say is that logging from one system to another system is denied. So for you to log into another system from this system, you need to install this private key here and make sure that this private key can access. You can do that, but it's not the best practice. Not the best practice. You have one Bastion host. The Bastion host can connect to other system and update and come back. So your Bastion will become your push system where you want to push files into, you want to update, you want to connect to the internet, you want to patch your system. You know, most of us that are using Windows operating system, we're always prompted to update our operating system because there's a security vulnerability that the developer or the maker or the owner of your operating system, the maker of your operating system, the engineers, they may discover some faults, some security breach. They will work on it and send it to you. So that when you update your system become more formidable, more rugged. So when you get that patches, sometimes you don't need to, as far as the system can connect to the internet, you can just do SSH and log in and just find yourself enjoying yourself. You understand? So that is what I'm trying to just give us here. I believe with this we have understood or we have understood Bastion host, and by the time we come back here, we're not going to come back to this deep granular stage. We want to make use of it. So I see you again next class. My name is Osatomi Patrick Agbogo of Cloud Training for Enthusiasts. Thank you for staying put. And I believe you enjoyed your flight, flight AWS. So thank you, and I'll see you in our next class. Bye.